Joining us is Pastor Aubrey Shines. Pastor Shines heads up Glory to Glory Ministries out of Temple Terrace, Florida, and he's actively serving with various organizations that engage with and promote family and spirituality in American society and culture. Pastor Shines, thanks so much for joining us today. So everyone is talking about President Trump's upcoming decision about the U.S. Supreme Court, who he'll appoint to fill Justice Kennedy's vacancy. So who would you like to see him appoint? Any favorites?
Well, listen, I'm a big fan of the federal list that's already out there. And I was pleasantly, very, very not surprised, but very happy with Gorsuch's, nomination and elevation to the Supreme Court. So I believe, Gary, anyone on that list actually would give us the proper perspective, not from the right or from the left, but just someone who is going to adhere to the Constitution and not become an activist, as we have seen so often in our federal system, and just put a guy or girl in office there as a Supreme Court judge to make sure that those of us that have views, have rights, especially state rights, that we are acknowledged. And I believe thus far, this president has done an excellent job at doing so, not just on the Supreme Court level, but also on the federal level as well. So I think he's going to make a pretty good choice here. I really do.
Well, he says he's narrowed it down to 5 candidates now, and 2 women are on that list. And everyone seems to think maybe Amy Coney Barrett is on that list. And I know that many evangelical Christians support her. How about you?
Yeah, I do too. I like her. But listen, I'm also a Senator Lee kind of a guy as well out of Utah. I think he would do a fantastic job. I'm not sure if he's on the list. That list hasn't been revealed. You know, when I traveled for Mr. Trump then prior to his presidency, maybe that should have been a question that I would have and should have asked him. I had the opportunity to do so. Never crossed my mind. He had given all of us his word that he was going to appoint constitutionalists. And thus far, again, he's done so. So I think there's some really just fantastic guys and girls on that list. Gary, listen, any one of those 5 or 7, whatever that list is currently, I think we're going to do well in the evangelical community. I do. Again, he's proven to be some president, in my opinion, that has kept his word on everything thus far that he has said. So I'm looking forward to this pick.
How about the importance of abortion? I know the left is making this all about abortion because they don't want to see Roe versus Wade overturned. How important is that? I think evangelicals look at more than just that as issues they're concerned with. How about you?
I do too. I do. I think we have a plethora of ideas that are out there for sure. But to pretend that that's not important, listen, and I said this not too long ago on Fox News on the Laura show there. Here's the reality. The abortion issue is very important, not just for a part of America, but for all America. And I don't think a lot of people, Gary, really realize that this whole idea of Planned Parenthood really kind of stemmed out of Margaret Sanger. She was a racist, didn't believe that any other ethnic group other than hers had a right to survive and live. And her real target was anyone that was not of her descent. And so a lot of people, Gary, don't even have a clue to that every time that they vote for a guy or girl that adheres to this what I call Planned Parenthood tragedy, what really goes on in a nutshell is that we're seeing 20+ million just blacks alone since Roe v. Wade, and to overturn that or put it to the states, allow the states to begin to decide, I think you'll begin to see a shift as never before on this issue, and we can stop, finally, the genocide that has really, really just been tragic, in my opinion.
A lot of those abortion clinics are in black neighborhoods. So why is it that African Americans don't just seem to grasp that this is against them?
Gary, I put out a video. I'm not sure if you guys saw it. I actually gave the video over to a super PAC group during the election. It went into 60 million homes. On that video, I kind of had a chronology of where this idea come from. And here's the sad part. Most blacks had zero clue as to the etymology of this word, and that is abortion. They had no clue. They didn't know that it came from this white racist. They didn't know how it impacted their community. And what we found in this video when we began to share with pastors and bishops across the country was that They didn't have a clue. They didn't know that this was something that was designed to destroy an entire ethnic group. And so, with that being said, we began to share this, and the eyes that began to open, it was beyond your imagination. And it goes back to, in my opinion, the heart of your question, which I believe is this. When people begin to realize the history of abortion, its real objective, all of a sudden they begin to have a change of heart and a change of mind. And I'm appalled personally that my tax dollars have ever gone to do something that I just have, I'm incensed by it, to be very, very candid with you, that I would have to pay for someone to do something of this magnitude. I believe, Gary, once that information is out there, I believe there's a change of heart and mind. And we saw that, by the way, in the election in 2016. We made an impact. A lot of Black and Hispanics that we are, have some community with, not just here in the Tampa area, but across the country. Once they begin to see the devastating effect that abortion had, Gary, they begin to have a change of mind. They had no clue as to its origin. As a result of it, once we begin to share that information, they begin to change.